Hello there, avid listeners. Thanks again for tuning into Sans Workshop. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Alright, so today we are going to be talking about Malice by Heather Walter. This was such an incredible story. I cannot begin to stress that enough because it is a retelling of Sleeping Beauty, but it's done in such a unique and imaginative way that really does make the reader care about these characters. You know, the reader cares about this narrative. The reader cares about this story that's taking place. So I have to say, thoroughly 100% impressed with this narrative. I think Malice is incredible. So Malice follows Alice, nicknamed Malice. You know, she is in this novel half a Vila. So what that means is the Vila are a race of people. They are kind of like the dark magic counterpart of the Fae. So there was a whole battle between Fae and Vila. The Vila were winning, so the Fae enlisted the help of humans to help them win the battle, promising like, hey, if you help us win this battle, we will bestow magical gifts upon certain individuals in your country. In your realm, rather, your kingdom. I think it's really great that Walter, and I didn't touch upon this in my YouTube review or my written review, but I think it's great that Walter is empowering women within her narrative. She is giving women a stronger resonance because the women are the ones that have the power. The women are the ones that rule the kingdom pretty much. The women are the ones who have the magic, you know, they're the ones with the power. However, of course, you know, the male lens does come into play, and of course, the women, they may have all this power, but they do live pretty much within gilded cages. But I think it's great that Walter chooses the women for the Fae to bestow. And the Fae do like the women. They are in favor of women ruling their country or their land. You know, they prefer the women. And I think they prefer the women for their compassion, for their ideals, and so they're not really a fan of the men. But you know what, I like that. I thought it was really empowering to read that. Now, of course, the Vila were pretty much eradicated, and now you have Alice, who is half Vila and half human. So she had a really rough childhood. She was pretty much tortured, as they tried to figure out how her power could be used. Turns out she can use her power the same way as a regular Grace, and a Grace is, you know, a half human, half Fae kind of being. They have all the magic, just none of the immortality, and their blood is gold. Now, her blood is green. Alice's blood is green. And I think that's really great how Walter really does draw a lot of allusions between the original fairy tale and what we know of the fairy tale, you know, Disney's rendition, to her narrative. You've got her bird, a kestrel. You have her green magic, you know, her green blood. And it was really interesting to see all these illusions. You have the three fairies, you know, Laura, and in this story they are Laurel, Marigold, and Rose. Sorry, I couldn't think of her name for a minute. And I like that there's a lot of complexity with the characters. Even the characters you don't like Rose. I'm not a fan of Rose. And Laurel broke my heart near the end. You understand these characters because of the world that they live in. So you're definitely understanding a lot of the struggle with the characters. And that's what I did like with the narrative. That's what I did find engaging, that these are all relatable characters. You don't have to like all the characters, but you can understand them. And that's what I took away from the story, that you are indeed understanding who these characters are and the world that they're living in. And I love how Walter has filled her entire narrative with such amazing world building and history. There's so much history that unfolds as the story progresses, and that's what I liked. That is something that sticks with you as the reader, but it also makes the story stand out. This isn't just going to be some typical, oh yeah, this is a retelling of Sleepy Beauty. Like, we get it, but we don't need all the, we don't need all those ticks. We just need a compelling story. You have Princess Aurora, you have Alice, you have the illusions, and that's enough. That is enough. And I think Walter is great to use just enough of the original fairy tale to let the reader know, like, hey, this is going to be a retelling. But also, she finds a way to make the story her own. She finds a way to make the story unique. She finds a way to make the story 100% engaging, and I am in love with it. I also love the relationship that develops between Princess Aurora and Alice. So Alice is not the fairy who cursed Aurora's bloodline. It was Avila from centuries ago. Cursed the bloodline, If you don't find your true love's kiss by age 21, you're going to drop dead. So Alice and Aurora become friends. Aurora doesn't see her as this dark grace, as she's called. She doesn't see her as a monster, as everyone believes and wants her to be. She sees her as just a girl being used by the kingdom, and she wants to put a stop to that. So they do form a very intelligent and very relatable friendship. It develops over the course of the novel in a very wonderful way to build up a very believable romance between these two characters. I loved the romance between these two characters. I thought it was so engaging. I am here for it, for Alice and Princess Aurora. I want them to get their happy ever after. I need book 2 in my hands, like, right now. I need to get this manuscript and read it. But, it's such a good story. It's such a good story, especially because Princess Aurora, she's not some damsel in distress. She's a very headstrong princess who is also living in her own gilded cage. And you feel for her because she wants to break the curse on her own, because she doesn't want to give away her kingdom to a man. No, she wants to rule the kingdom as she sees fit. And she has a lot of ideals for this kingdom. She wants to make it such a better place than it is now. But of course, men get in the way. And prejudices get in the way. Bigotry kind of gets in the way. And so Aurora and Alice have to band together to face everything head on. But of course, this is only book 1 of 2. So I'm very excited to see how the story is going to play out with number 2. I love this book. It was so good. I can't stress that enough. It was so good. It was so well written. It was so well told. I love the characterization. I love the depth and complexities that went for every single character, including the minor characters, including Laurel and Marigold and Rose and Headmistress Lavender, for Aurora and Cal and Malice. I mean, these are all memorable characters. You see how many I just ticked off? They are all incredibly memorable, including the Fae. And I feel like I'm about to mispronounce his name, Endelwild, but he's also very compelling. There's a lot of complexities with these characters that make them so compelling to read and follow. So I have to give Malice, I have to give it 5 stars. It was just a standout novel. I'm just in awe of it. I need to own it. I did receive an advanced reader's copy from the publisher, so I no longer have the copy anymore. But this is a book I'm willing to pay to have in my bookcase to share with future generations, because it is definitely worth reading. If I had time to reread my books, this would definitely be one for me to reread. Because I just loved it so much. I thought, ooh, this is such a good book when I was done reading it, and I highly recommended it to all my coworkers. I'm like, you gotta read this. Like, this is amazing. Read it, read it, read it. That's me. Like, read it, read it, read it. I loved it. 100% loved it. Could not get enough of it. I just think it is 100% amazing. So please support the author by purchasing the book from your local bookstore or online book retailer. Please, all I ask is that you do not purchase the book from Amazon. Support your bookstores in your neighborhood. Support online book retailers, because they are the ones that definitely deserve it more than Amazon. If money's tight, check out the book from your local library. And another way you can support the author is by writing a review if you like it. I mean, reviews are a great resource for authors. You know, every time I share a review with an author, they end up following me and they end up commenting with, you know, I've built a relationship with authors that way, and I think it's really great. And I think authors love it as well, to build friendships with their readers. And on that note, I hope you all will continue to support me by liking this podcast and sharing with all your book-loving friends. You can also become a supporter on Anchor FM, my recording platform, for just 99 cents a month. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.